Stop me if you've heard this one before.
Sonic the Hedgehog has had a difficult time transitioning to 3D.
Well, that's because it's kind of true. When Sega had to take Sonic from 2D to 3D, they were tasked with taking the core concepts of the 2D games and translating them to 3D, all while giving it some tweaks here and there to make it a completely new experience. When you look at modern 3D Sonic, you can tell that Sega just kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking the Sonic formula until it became a shadow of its former self. But let's undo all those tweaks and look at Sega's first attempt, and possibly best attempt, at a 3D Sonic game. No, not that one. Not that one either. Not that one. Sonic Adventure. Released initially on December 23rd, 1998 for the Sega Dreamcast, Sonic Adventure is Sonic's true leap into the third dimension. Since I was a kid, I've always loved playing the Sonic games, especially 2D Sonic games. Sonic 2 and 3, the Advanced series, and the Rush games were all games that I spent countless hours on. I loved to play 2D Sonic because of the way it felt and how amazing it feels to speed through the levels. When it comes to 3D games though, I can't really say that I feel the same. Having only played SA2, Heroes, Out the Edge, and 06 in my youth, the only game I remember fondly playing was Sonic Adventure 2, and thinking that that was the best attempt at a 3D Sonic game. That was an opinion that I held true to my heart to this day, until one day I was on Twitter and saw people talking about all the Sonic games and critiquing all of them. It was then that I realized that as much as I love Sonic and all of the Sonic games, that I never really played Sonic Adventure 1. So I decided to fix that, and I gotta say, Sonic Adventure 1 is actually how I envisioned a 3D Sonic game would play. From the gameplay, level design, and hell, even the story, Sonic Adventure 1 has laid down the foundation for what a 3D Sonic game should be like. Don't believe me? Let me explain. So for us to look at what makes a good 3D Sonic game, we must look at what makes a good 2D Sonic game. Well, for me, what made 2D Sonic a good game was always just how speed was a reward for understanding the game. It's super easy to pick up speed in 2D Sonic. You have the spin dash, boost panels, and even the physics of the game make you pick up speed easily. But the game constantly throws obstacles at you that will cause you to lose speed or have to take things slow. So in order to maintain speed, you have to understand the level layout. You have to know when to jump, when not to jump, when to take the lower path, when not to take the lower path, when to take the high path, when not to take the high path, when to jump, when not to jump. You get the point. The fact that the levels had many different pathways was also a pretty cool thing to me, because every new run of the game, you get to experience something slightly different. Now, how do we translate this to 3D? Well, we make levels that are big and filled with branching pathways and obstacles that the players have to avoid/use to be able to speed through the levels, and reward players for having fast reflexes. That sounds amazing, right? Of course it does. Now, does SA1 do that? Well, kind of. In Sonic Adventure 1, the levels are a mixture of both open-ended and linear. You have sections of a level that are very big and open and filled with different pathways for you to take and speed past, like Red Mountain, Skydeck, and Lost World. Then you have these linear sections that are very much like a hallway simulator like Windy Valley. This whole mixing of these two level designs for levels is something that I'm not a huge fan of. See, in Sonic Adventure 1, there are 6 characters and 11 stages. Each character goes through a minimum of 3 stages. So if you do the math and you carry the 1 and move over the 2 and add an X, you'll notice that there are not enough stages for these characters to each have their own specific stage, which means characters gotta share stages. This isn't really a bad thing, but I'm fairly certain that this is the reason why the level design was this weird hybrid. If instead of making characters share stages, they had their own unique set of stages or take on stages, then maybe it would have made the level design better and more fresh rather than having characters share stages. Speaking of characters, there are 6 playable characters, each with their own spin on the core Sonic gameplay. Sonic is the classic get to the end of the stage, Tails is the same as Sonic but has to race Sonic to get to the end of the stage, Knuckles has to find the pieces of the Master Emerald in a set location, Amy has to reach the end of a stage while avoiding this robot that is chasing you, continue, Big has to fish, and E102 Gamma has to reach the end of the stage within a specific time limit. This is the natural evolution of classic Sonic games having 3 characters, but also an evolution of how each character is a different play experience. This is something I am a huge fan of, since it allows for different experiences of the basic Sonic formula. My favorite being Gamma's. Since you have to reach the end of the level within a time limit, you want to go fast. But if you don't want to have a clenched butt cheek the entire time, you gotta destroy Badniks, because doing so gives you more time. This is a nice way to make killing Badniks something that you want to do in the middle of blasting through a level. The character movement is also something that I think is amazing in this game. Characters slowly build up to their max speed, allowing you to perfectly control your character while going through these levels. You also have good control of your character's movements as they sort of ease into their turns, allowing you to platform more precisely. Each character also has a very specific thing that they can do. Sonic can spin dash, Tails can fly, Knuckles can glide, Amy can flip a dip, Gamma can shoot and glide, and Big can waste your time. You can honestly break certain sections of a level if you use a character's ability just right in conjunction with your platforming skills. Like, Tails can flat out ignore certain stages, and I just recently watched this video of someone just breaking Emerald Coast using Sonic. Like, it's insane. It's hilarious how you can just snap these levels in two if you know how to use your character's abilities. Now, I know there are a lot of people who don't like the whole Sonic games having multiple characters thing, but I think it's a good way to allow people to have different experiences each time they play. 6 might be a little too much because it is a big number, and that's sort of how you end up with Fluff trying to reach that number. That's sort of how you ended up with Big's gameplay. Like, I wonder how it went down in the development room. Fuck Tim, Tom, and Dom. We promised Yuji Naka that we would have 6 character playstyles, and we don't know what we're gonna do. We only have 5, and we need 1 more. Tim, what do you got? I don't know. Dom, what do you got? Fuck, just make another Sonic. Just make Sonic go fast again. He boosts and he does stuff. Tom, what do you got? I don't fucking got anything, man. I quit. I'm going fishing. Fishing! That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm fairly certain it went down like that. Another thing that I really like about the transition from 2D to 3D is a greater emphasis on the story. Ever since games have leapt to the 3rd dimension, there has been a huge leap on how games are presented. We went from having stories being told through instruction manuals, or these simple text boxes, or some simple cutscenes in these games, to these beautiful, captivating cutscenes that only improved as the years went on. And obviously, when you have cutscenes, you gotta have a story to be told through the cutscenes, right? Sonic Adventure 1's story is nothing too crazy. It is the simple Eggman is up to no good, so Sonic must stop him plot, but there are also a bunch of different plots that are happening around the main story that are interweaved with one another that really makes this story a joy to experience. For instance, while Sonic is trying to stop the egg, we have Knuckles traveling around to get these pieces of the Master Emerald, and eventually the two meet up and bonk heads. Or, like when Amy gets captured and her guard just happens to be Gamma, leading them to having a one-on-one that is sort of the main reason why Gamma has a change of heart. I also really like that throughout the entire game, there is this mystery of the Echidna tribe and chaos sprinkled around each character's story mode, that when you put all the pieces together, you really get this nice sub-story within the story. All this combined makes me feel like I was actually in this world on an adventure. I know that future Sonic games have presented stories better, whether it was through graphics or maybe even just a better story, but Sonic Adventure 1, being the first 3D Sonic game, tried its best at delivering a story that is once again a natural evolution of the classic 2D games. Sonic Adventure 1 is Sonic's best leap to 3D because it took a lot of things from the 2D games and translated them to the 3D world. Sonic Adventure 1 laid down the foundation for future 3D games to take and build upon, which they did with games like Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic 06 to an extent. I honestly believe that Sonic Adventure 1 has been given a lot of flack because of how current 3D Sonic is just a mess, and who else to blame that mess than on the first game that created 3D Sonic. But if instead we erased all our bias with the current 3D Sonic games and looked at Sonic Adventure 1 with some fresh eyes, we can see the potential that this game has. That's not to say that this game is a masterpiece. No. Sonic Adventure 1 is far from it. It suffers heavily from first game syndrome. You have these awkward cutscenes, awkward lip movement, awkward audio, awkward cameras. Sometimes the game's physics just fuck with you. There are many issues with this game, and that's understandable because first game syndrome. But all these issues eventually get hammered out with future games. But like I said multiple times in this video, Sonic Adventure 1 is Sonic's best jump into the third dimension. This game took what made the 2D games good and transferred them to 3D, all the while building upon them and laying down a foundation for future games. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you liked the video, then like the video. And if you disliked the video, then dislike the video. That's what those buttons are there for. I honestly appreciate you guys watching this. I know I've been gone for a long time. I've just been suffering with a lot of things going around in current issue. Look at the date that this video is uploaded. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.